You know what? There is this wonderful thing about learning, that we don't learn to walk by following rules. We learn by doing and by falling over. Hello my dear learners, welcome to my channel. My name is Namita, and today, as you've already seen in the thumbnail, we are going to talk about the theory and practical of English. Now practical, now you would ask me, ma'am, since when has English become a practical subject? Because practicality of subjects we generally associate with mathematics, science, computer, accountancy. English was never really a practical subject. But here we talk about spoken English, how to speak English fluently, confidently in a flow. That is why it has a practical aspect to it. But when I say theory, the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is grammar. And about grammar, the first thing that comes to your mind is tenses, because it is the biggest confusion in everybody's head. So let's talk about the theory today. And in theory, we are going to talk about grammar first. So to begin with, let's start with a tense first. A tense which many of you find very hard. You think that it's a difficult one. It is past perfect continuous tense, which is also known as past perfect progressive tense. Now you think that this tense is really difficult. Making sentences using this one is hard. Now this tense, past perfect continuous tense, is used in scenarios, in situations where the event had occurred in the past, it continued in the past, and it ended in the past. So for those scenarios, we use this tense. The formation of this sentence is subject plus had plus been plus verb plus ing plus object. Let me give you an example. I had been studying English. It's a simple tense, affirmative one. If I have to convert the same sentence into negative one, I would say I had not been studying English. If I have to convert it into interrogative, I would say had I been studying English. And if we convert it into interrogative negative, we will say had I not been studying English. Are you getting it? How do we use this tense? Let's talk about some more examples to make it clear to you. The children had been playing video games for 5 hours. He had been improving his communication skills for past 2 years. I had been reading books since childhood. Ram had been watching TV for hours before he slept. I had been listening to music when he came to meet me. Now you must have noticed that I have used for and since here. So in these kind of tenses, we do use for and since. I have made many videos on it, but there is this one detailed video which I am going to link here. You can go check this video out, so it will be more clear for you to understand when to use for and when to use since. So these were some examples of past perfect continuous tense. Is it very difficult now? Isn't it sounding very simple? You have to use had, been and ing. Ing is something which we always use in all the continuous tenses, be it present continuous, be it future. Everywhere we use ing whenever an activity is continuing, a progressive tense, right? So this was one aspect of theory. Now there is a homework for you all with the same tense, this one, past perfect continuous. I have given you few examples. Now you write down at least 10 sentences using the same. You have the formation with you. You have this whole formation, the construction, how to construct the sentence, subject plus had been plus verb ing plus object. So you have to construct at least 10 sentences from your side. Pause this video before you go further with the theory part. Let's create some sentences on our own. This will be very nice, and once you are done with these 10 sentences, you will never have any difficulty in talking about past perfect continuous tense. It will be very easy, and you will start using it more often in your speech. You will notice that difference. But before that, at least 10 sentences you have to form right now. Let's move forward with the theory part. Now in theory, we also talk about some phrases, and I keep insisting that instead of vocabulary, let's use more of phrases. So let's talk about certain phrases here. In normal English, if someone is not feeling well, we always say get well soon. That's a very common way of sending your good wishes to the person, get well soon. But there can be more polished and more adorned way of saying get well soon. So how can we say it in some other ways? Let's figure it out. Warmest wishes for a speedy recovery. Sending good vibes your way. Use your superpowers and get well soon. Get better to your amazing self soon. Hope you get to feeling better soon. And God bless you through your recovery. So these are few ways in which you can convey your good wishes and you can send wellness wishes to someone instead of saying simply get well soon, another theory part. But when we talk about phrases, of course, we cannot skip vocabulary. So let's learn at least 2 new words today. Alright, so the first one is gregarious. Now, gregarious is an adjective. It means heavily sociable, basically someone who loves company, someone who's fond of company. An example would be, my friend is extremely popular in school because of her gregarious nature. Now you try to make at least 4 new sentences using gregarious. Pause the video, make sentences, and then this word won't be new for you anymore. You'd be able to use it in more of your conversations. Let's move on to the second word, famished, which means extremely hungry. An example would be, after a long workout, Rajiv was absolutely famished. So you have learned another new word, famished. Make 4 sentences from your side using famished. You can even change the forms. You can use it as famishing, and any which way it fits best in your sentence, use it. It won't be a new word anymore. So this is all about the theory part of English. We keep working on the theory all the time. But when it comes to practical, we feel that we cannot speak in English. You would still say, ma'am, you have taught us some phrases. We have learned 2 new words. We have even completed 1 full tense in grammar. But still, when we have to speak, we feel hesitant. So now the practical aspect is, as practical means practice, you have to practice. Let's talk about something which is not related to English, but it's about computer. We all get to study computer in our schools. There is a subject computer, and we all have those big computer books where they have made all the computers, the screen, the keyboard. They teach us everything, and as we go to senior classes, they just teach us operating system, languages are taught. So computer has a vast theory. So whenever a child is made to sit, read a book about computers, but is never taken to lab, he would never be able to speak. Do you think that if they teach us only the theory part of computer and never take us to a computer lab, and they never show us a computer screen, but they have been teaching us all the details of computer like MS Word, MS Excel, PowerPoint, different languages, operating system, but they have never shown us a whole computer screen, would a child be able to use the computer? But at the same time, have you seen children these days, or any adult who has never studied any theory of computer, but they can use computer better than those who have studied theory part, isn't it? Because they've been spending time on computer. They don't need to learn the whole Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Excel, because they know the practical aspect of it. They will open it, try to see everything, they'll figure out how it works, and they will start using it. They get better with it. So we don't really need to study theory, even if they don't teach us anything about computer, but they leave us in computer lab. After a few days, we would be able to use computer well, like many children do. They don't have to study books for it. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Same is the thing with English. If you don't pay any attention to grammar, to phrases, even to vocabulary, not like learning new words every day. I'm not saying that don't start using good vocabulary, but if you don't really sit and study new words, then also you would be able to use them just by getting into the practical aspect of English. Just like computers, we have to work on the practical part more. Okay, you have been spending time in studying theory. Fine, we have also done it for a few minutes here. But what about practical? If you will not work it out, then it would never happen. simple. You make a child study the whole computer subject in a book but never take them to a computer lab. It is of no use. No use of teaching them computer if they are not being able to function on the keypad or work in front of the monitor. No use of it. Same with English. You have been spending so much of time on theory that the practical is missing. When it comes to speaking in English, you forget it. So you have to reduce the time of theory, but you have to increase the time of practical. Basically, you have to practice more. Start speaking like we have done a tense. Now you do one thing. You've already made sentences, I'm assuming. You can, before going to bed, you can write down a page where you use these tenses in a whole speech, not like single sentences. Use them in a situation, write something about it, and then you can use the same vocabulary word into the same paragraph. The two words that we have done, use the same phrases, like I went to the market, I had been shopping for Diwali, and then I met an aunt who was not well, so I wished her to get well soon. But when I came back home, I was all famished, like that. So somewhere try to fit everything into one paragraph, and then see that this would not be very difficult, and read it afterwards. Read it aloud. We have to work on the practical more than the theory. That's the whole idea of this video. Just like computer, if you don't teach them the whole theory, they would still be able to work and figure out the whole computer thing. They would know what is monitor, they would know what is CPU, they would know what is keyboard, how to use it, they would know typing. Some people have such a wonderful typing speed even if they have not even passed class 10. It is just that when you do something, you get the hack of it. It is the basic function of life. When we start doing something, we learn it. Many girls don't know cooking, just like boys don't. They were studying, they were working, but once you put them into the kitchen and ask them to cook, it is a mandate for them to cook for their family, they learn cooking. It is practical. So cooking leads to more cooking. People start doing different things. Washing clothes is something we don't do as children because our mothers are taking care of it. But as we grow up, we have to do it, and it's the practical thing. If they tell us that you have to put this much of detergent into it, then you have to churn it by rinsing. We learn it on our own. So that's my idea of learning English. Try to learn it on your own. It will happen. You just have to practice. Keep making mistakes. Let people laugh at you. Let them laugh at you. Don't care. Become deaf to their judgments. Become deaf to their opinions. You don't care about them. Right now, you know that English is stopping you from becoming successful in life. You want to grow in your life. You have to work on your English. So just put yourself into the practical aspect of English. Keep practicing every single day. That was the whole idea of creating this video about theory and practical of English. I hope this video was useful for you. Keep working on the practice part. As I always say, I'm going to see you in my next video. Till then, don't spend too much time on theory. Work on the practical as well. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye for now.